We're back. It's been 5 days off. It's weird. I hate when I love doing work. That's always great, but
no arms and no legs is basically how you live now.
Whenever we're off, even an extra day, it seems weird going back. So
I have some VRBO advice and a little story from our weekend I'd like to share, but I want to start with the National. I want to get into a card topic right off the bat.
Do it. Let's do all the things. I've actually got a video that we can play too that's related to this.
To the National?
Yeah, buddy.
There's been a lot of talk about the National. And here's the thing. You notice there's a major trickle-down effect in the hobby, which is fine, right? Like if we talk about something, and granted, there's a ton of other content creators who do a billion things or whatever, but if we talk about something, and vice versa, by the way, if I see other people talking about it, I will talk about it.
Sure.
So SCN talks about something, we'll see a number of other podcasts kind of allude to that thing, or maybe they're talking about the same story or whatever. The same is very much true on the YouTube side of content.
Contact with Jodie Foster, though.
Great movie.
Thank you. Okay.
So Sports Card Radio came out with a video, and again, this is not a knock on them. It was their opinion. Fine. The National is very overrated.
Do you think that stems from all the people posting all this stuff about how expensive it is to go?
So, yeah, I think some of that plays into it, the current state of the market. But then what happened is there's been a billion other smaller content creators in them. Again, they kind of follow the lead of the top dog. So they take that, they make their own. And it's been spilling into the Facebook group. I don't know if you saw that this weekend. Like, was thinking about going to Nationals. Now I'm not gonna. I ended up deleting a bunch of posts because it just turned into just like crapping on the National for no reason.
Oh, okay.
I just want to say this as somebody who is in the hobby and not. Let me take off my industry hat for a minute.
All right. Are you putting on a different hat or just leaving?
I don't want to talk about the hat I'm wearing.
No hat. Okay.
As just a collector, somebody who loves cardboard, period.
Yep.
The National is by far the most exciting, entertaining, interesting card show that you will ever be a part of.
Tell me why.
You will see things you never see before. The sheer volume of what you're looking for. If you're a set nerd like I am with certain things, you can chase down random stuff. If you want to see just awesome, rare cards, it doesn't have to be 5-6 figure cards either. Just crazy, cool, rare stuff, and you have a shot to buy that. The Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain I got last year was like a good example of that. Like something you just don't ever see. So I just think it's awesome. It's an overwhelmingly awesome event in my opinion. Now, yes, there are a number of tables where pricing is terrible. But that is also a largely overstated fact. There's a number of guys there who understand, hey, I just spent $8,000 to get here. I need to move volume.
Absolutely.
You've seen. I want to get your opinion in a minute. Not now because it's not as important as mine.
I think.
Don't ever start a sentence like that again. So from my perspective, again, totally, because if we're going to go industry side, it is literally, and I didn't believe in this really until this thing took off. The whole in-person networking, the amount of deals and I have struck, sponsorships, all that stuff, those things still happen in person by and large. Relationship building, all that is huge.
Yeah.
But take that all away. If you're in a position to go to the National, I think it is an awesome show. I just think it's an awesome event. The events surrounding it, I think, are great. We're not, by the way, they're not a sponsor. We don't do anything official with the National Sports Card Collector, whatever the NSCC.
Oh, yeah. Ray, we're not getting anything out of this.
No, but I do. I think it is like an amazing event. Like, I just don't. Now, your perspective, you've been to 3?
Yeah.
This will be your 4th?
Wait, 2001 was my first one.
No, you were a freshman in high school.
2021. What's wrong with me? 21, 22. So this will be my third national.
Oh, only your third. Okay.
Yeah, Chicago, Atlantic City, and now Chicago again.
Okay, so then your perspective was a little bit different this time in Chicago. Last time we had an HBO crew with us.
Yeah, that was cool. This year, I will say this year I am excited to go because I think that we are in a stage in the hobby where you've seen such a huge influx of people. They're already predicting more people than at any other national, which I feel like all the nationals I've been to, again, have been like that, where it's like, oh, well, there's going to be more than any other year past, or whatever the case. I think that's because what you're going to get out of that is you're going to get a smarter, savvier clientele who isn't going to accept the bad tables that are there buying and selling for way more than it should be, or offering way less than they should be offering.
Real quick interjection. I'll let you get back to your thought.
Yeah.
To that point, too, I've heard a number of people, all these guys know they're upside down. They're looking at a chance at the National to dump this. These guys, if you were still holding cards you're way upside down on, you were upside down on them last year.
Yes.
This is not the market where guys are like, oh, but I'm going to get it anyways because, hey, to your point, I think the guys who are like, hey, I'm upside down and got to get rid of cards have already done that to a large degree.
For sure.
And the amount of sellers who are just like, I guess I'll pay more in person. that diminishes every year, which it should.
Yeah.
Just because you pay to set up doesn't mean I should pay a premium. Now, if it's a rare card, I don't see it a lot, I'll pay $95 for that $80 Brady because I get it. It's in my hands. I'm done. But I agree, the educated consumer. Back to your thoughts, Jesse Gibson.
I think it's too that the hobby has also taken a listening ear to what everyone has had to say over the last couple of years. Granted, whatever you think about social media for the hobby, it can be great. Sometimes it can be absolute trash other times, but it has been very useful for getting voices out there, getting people heard.
It's informative.
Oh, absolutely.
For sure.
And it also gives those companies who are setting up an idea of what they actually need to put out there, because all these big companies, call it, Beckett, Panini, SGC, all these grading companies, all these other firms that are coming in with millions and millions of dollars, they're going to have marketing teams. They're going to have people who say, oh, I think we should do this and that. But really what's great is that we have social media as the end-all, be-all, best marketing out there to give you the ideas that you need to set up the best kind of show possible. And I think that they're really listening to that kind of information, which in turn makes for a better show for the average consumer, the average goer. So overall, again, I've been to 2 of these shows. I've been to multiple other card shows, but two of the actual nationals. I think that we keep getting better experiences because we're getting more of these things that people are asking for. And that's why I'm excited to go myself. That there are other downsides. It costs $1,600 for a 4-night stay. Well, I mean, I think you can get it for $1,100, but we got the room that has a mini fridge in there. We don't like to brag about that.
We got 2 rooms, right?
Don't worry about that. I may have just canceled one and pocketed the money you paid.
I don't remember paying you. That's a true statement, dummy.
Actually,
yeah, I haven't paid you.
All right, never mind. We have 2 rooms, but overall, there are some downsides to it. But at the end of the day, you also, this time of year, you're hearing everyone building up for this event.
Yep.
You're hearing people going and getting cards graded. You're hearing people holding off on selling something or holding off on buying something because of this event.
Yep.
I think it ultimately, it leads to a very, very fun, but also a lot of money exchanging, a lot of really good benefits for the hobby at this event.
Let me just say the other side of that too. If you're somebody who's not in a position to go, like I've only been to 5 or 6, 6, I guess. I did just fine in the hobby without the National ever being a part of my life as well.
Oh, yeah. That's
no
fair.
problem there either.
Yeah.
Can you also just absolutely do phenomenal at some of these smaller card shows, going in and cleaning out tables and doing? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, all things being equal, if you can get here without a real struggle financially, I think it is worth it. I think it's an awesome event. The other thing you just mentioned, though, the lead up is one of the traditional trends that I think still holds up this year. There were so many other trends, like when me and you first started doing the show. Oh, well, this time of year I do this, and this time we threw everything out the window for the last 2.5 years because it was such a mess. Mm-hmm. Everything was so ridiculously volatile, nuclear, either good or bad. It was I don't know what to do here. So these trends mean nothing. That is one trend. The lead up to National is almost always, from my experience, been the slowest time in the card market.
Yeah.
Almost always.
By the way, we have no new releases, so that's also slow, just for all those listening for later in the show. It's going to be a slow day. That's all I'm saying.
32 minutes left. No, excuse me, 30. I said 40 minutes left.
Yeah.
So that is true. That is as true this year as it ever has been. You're going to see guys, like you just mentioned, a lot of guys, and even customers of mine. And I get a lot of people reaching out, especially since I've started really breaking again. Hey man, sorry to haven't been involved in breaks lately. Just saving up for the National, or hey, I've got a ton of stuff at a grading company because I'm waiting to bring it to the National, or I'm saving up. So I think that is also a very real factor as well. But I did just want to give at least my opinion. I know there are times I also just think everything in the hobby is terrible, and if you just go crazy negative and just rip things apart, it's gets you more clicks, views, whatever. There's plenty of that where I think it's actually valid. The National topic, I don't. I think it's an awesome show. If you said you can go to the National or not go to the National, any day of the week, I would say go. I think it's well worth the trip.
Well, I think it's to your point that you brought out at the beginning. There's already been a few other, TikToks, Instagram Reels, whatever you want to call it, where people are talking about is it worth the money to do this? I think it all comes down to money at the end of the day. I think the majority of everyone would go if it was free to go. It comes down to, I would like cards. Where are going to be the most card people, the most variety of cards? It's the National. Why wouldn't I go? Oh, well, it may be a little more expensive.
Sure.
That's probably the
And
reason.
if that's the issue, like, totally understand. Not necessary for you to go on your collecting journey. Fine. But if it's not that, I wouldn't not go because somebody's like, I think it's overrated. That, I guess that is my bigger point here.